Welcome, Screaming Eagles fans. I'm Coach Sean Liotta, the coach of the fans, and I'm joined today by Ray Austin, one of the co-founders of Franchise, and Pedro Arnau, who was our Battle of the Fans winner, and will be reading fan-submitted questions to today's candidate, Coach Jose Jefferson. Welcome, Jose.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great, Coach. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to start it off. My question to you, Coach, is take me through a typical Tuesday practice schedule, period by period, in detail.
Okay. Well, firstly, it'll probably be after a game. Is this after a game or just like
This will be, a typical Tuesday. You had a Saturday game, so take me through a Tuesday practice, typical Tuesday practice.
Well, guys are usually probably banged up a little bit, so we'll probably do fundamentals early on. I am a big proponent of short yardage games, so seeing that guys are probably still a little banged up, we're probably either in shells or in helmets, and it's all short yardage. Everything that's 7 yards and under, we're doing it. Goal line, period, things of that nature. So first of practice, we'll probably start out with, stretching, jogging, things of that nature. Then we'll split up. In terms of offensive and defensive lines, they're probably going to go through their fundamental drills, receiver, DBs, quarterbacks. Everybody's going through fundamentals. I mean, it's just, forming up, ball security, everything fundamental that we could get back. You just can't forget those fundamentals, especially after watching the film. You're probably going to work on some ball security things, footwork. So that's probably the first period. The next period after that is just getting guys loose. We got some light ups. DBs are doing their back pedals. Lines are going through the run game, pass pro, and things of that nature. And then what I usually do on a Tuesday is I like to save my big guys. So I usually send them to lift, send them to the pool, send them to film. And then all the other guys, receivers, DBs, quarterbacks, linebackers, we're doing short yardage. It's all that 5-on-5, situational. The whole time, and we're banging it out. We're getting a good sweat, but it's everything short yardage, because that's a lot of the part of this game that people tend to forget, is that a lot of people can throw a 40-yard bomb, and that's what everybody wants to see, but then when it's 4th and 1 and people wonder why they can't get it, it's because they don't practice it. So a lot of that is on that Tuesday. We'll probably do some short special teams, and what I mean by short special teams, PAT, field goal, without the linemen, just so everybody knows their lineup, snap holds, wingman, or even the return game with the smaller guys. But that's pretty much my Tuesday. Just a lot of cleanup from that film, from that game, and getting guys loose, because Wednesday is hard work Wednesday, so they got to get loose and ready to go.
Thanks, Coach. And I just want to get you to elaborate on that first question, and then I have one more question for you. But how much practice time a week would you say you spend on contingency situations, such as short yardage, long yardage, two-point conversions? How much of that takes up your weekly practice schedule? As you said, you do place a high emphasis on it.
I have what I call a challenge period in my practice period, because usually most guys go about 2 hours in a practice, 2 to 2:15, just depending on your facilities, obviously with indoor football and whatnot. But I dedicate about 20 to 25 minutes on a challenge period, either on situational football, special teams football. And what I mean by a challenge period is that I'll put the defense against the offense, and we'll play to 5. Hey, 1st and 10 on this yard line, this hash. 3rd and 2, 4th and long, and we'll do that. And especially on the short yardage, like I said, with the goal line, you got to put 20, 25 minutes into it every practice, just because you're going to see that. That's where the money is right there. Everybody can run that motion, get that guy off and make a move, but when you say that guy gets tackled on the 1 yard line, it's 1st and goal, next thing you know, you're at 4th and goal because you haven't worked on it. So it's an everyday thing for me.
And that's great, because I think the more that you do put your players into those kind of high-pressure situations in practice, when it comes time for it in the game, it makes it easy. So that's a great answer, Coach.
Yeah,
awesome, Coach. And that actually kind of goes into my question in preparation for the players. How are you, if you're the coach for the Screaming Eagles, how do you get your fans, and because you will be engaging with the fans all this time, so how do you get your fans and players ready for hostile environments and loud environments, kind of like Sioux Falls?
Well, I wanted Sioux Falls. I wanted Sioux Falls twice, and the main thing you tell people is that regardless of what they're saying or what they're yelling, they can't stop your play. And we just have to believe in what we're doing. We stay focused. I honestly, I really kind of tune a lot of things out, especially with fans, the crowd noise, just because I'm focused on what we're doing. And our play speaks for itself. But the main thing is as long as we know what we're doing and we're all on it's the key word in anything that you do with football, or especially in an indoor setting, is buy-in. And once you got the buy-in, it doesn't matter where you're playing. But I honestly, once you start beating somebody pretty good, the fan noise and the crowds, it really doesn't make much of a difference. In fact, they got to pick on other things because your play is so good. So quite honestly, it's the buy-in and making sure that fans understand that this is our game plan, this is what we're going to do, we're dictating the pace, and we're playing at Sioux Falls. And even, honestly, the tougher places to play are the places that don't have as many fans in the games that you're supposed to win. Those are the games that are harder to get guys up for when you're playing a team that's 0-8 and you're like, well, they only got 100 fans here, and next thing you know, you're playing to their level. Everybody loves to play in that 10,000-seat arena that's packed. So to me, it's almost the opposite that's tougher than playing in the packed arenas.
Great.
There's 4 seconds left in the game, and you guys just pulled in the 1 point to win. The fans elect you to run a 2-point conversion. If you can, could you draw me up a 2-point conversion that you would run?
Okay. First and foremost, I would put the ball on the left hash to get it dominant for a quarterback side if he's right-handed. And then I would start out in a formation that I call flex right. And the play would probably be what I call a 29 counter keep. And as I'm drawing it up here, you can see what's going on here. It's based on a West Coast principle. So everybody can see that. Can you guys see that?
Yep, good. Yeah, we can see it, Coach. Yep.
Okay, basically what happens here is the flex right, obviously the Z's on the line of scrimmage on the right-hand side, slot receivers on the high outside left. And basically what he does is he does counter motion through the top. Actually, hold on a second. Missing a couple guys here. Actually, I'm good here. Hold on a second. Counter motion. Here we go. Sorry about that. Actually, it's right here. There we go. What happens here is he comes here, and we fake the handoff here. And we fake the handoff here. And as we do that, the quarterback rolls out. He comes in high motion, we fake the handoff here, we fake the handoff here, and it's a counter. He rolls out. Now, the key is this defensive end. The running back has to get on the top shoulder of that defensive end. If we're all swaying this way, the D end, he should shuffle down. He should shuffle down to make sure that he's staying home. But when he sees the back come out, he's got a choice. Either he's got to attack the back or go upfield. And so what's going to happen, if the back gets on the outside shoulder, he's wide open, the quarterback's rolling, that's a dump.
Do you have your back chip him, Coach?
He can. I mean, some ends are aggressive. I mean, if he goes way too far in, there's no need to touch, and he's wide open. That's the 2-point. That's the conversion. That's the game. But if he's a solid end and coached well, he's going to stay there. And so we're going to make a little contact, which is fine. So now we put this guy in the bind. This guy in the bind. Now, if he rolls with the back, that's great. Quarterback's going to roll out. It's a go, go, go. We're in the end zone.
I like that because you explain who the monkey is. It's something that Bill Belichick used to teach us, who is the monkey in this, who are we trying to play, basically.
Right.
And you're explaining where that end is the read. What is the levels? What is the second, third level of decision for a quarterback?
Okay, basically he rolls out. Say he covers the back. The Z receiver is going to come in, look where the linebacker's at, and then basically arrow out. So now we got layers. We got here and we got here. So, I mean, we could probably get in here because this guy's probably going to press coverage. If he looks like he's blocking, he's probably going to try to press on the inside. So we're going to get an outside release, roll to the corner. When he's dumping, it's either a conversion or you're throwing it to the fans.
And what's this route behind us?
What's that?
What's this route behind us?
Basically, this is the laziest route in football, that dig. You're coming across and you're reading everything in here. And so say if everything's blocked up here, it's a bad principle of football to throw behind you, but if you can get into the gaps here, it's a dump back here, especially with 2 yards. You could probably get away with throwing backwards.
You're going to have him work the wall, Coach?
No, he's working in the middle of the field. He's working in the middle of the end zone. He doesn't need to be deep. We don't want him on the wall. You get on the wall, that's where guys start hugging and pushing you. You're running into the refs. You need to be in the field of play. You need to be about halfway through the end zone. So, because everybody, the linebacker is going to be down. Everybody is pushing the goal line. So now, or they're pushing the line of scrimmage. So now everybody's outside of the end zone. And so now you got the 2 yards to the goal line, and then half of the end zone, you got 5 yards to play with. So you're kind of hunting in here where the quarterback's going to roll out. So now we got 4 options. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes he's 1, because if this guy gets pinned in, boom, he's an athletic quarterback. He's 6 foot tall. He can fall 2 yards. That's 6, or at least a 2-point conversion.
And he would also do that, Coach. His read would be to throw that little angle route, that little bang route, whatever you want to call it. If, say, off of your motion, because you run fake, now the corner fires. You know, the corner run fits outside. He would just throw that over the top.
Exactly, right here. I mean, it's a high-low. I mean, but 9 times out of 10, when we hit here and the slot motion's down, we're probably going to see a bump. He's going to bump him in to cover this run. Yep. So now he's giving him outside leverage already. So now he's got an inside release, and we're twisting the corner around. So it's not, for a defense, it's not sound to bump there. He should run over the top. I mean, technically he should. But most teams, they bump, and that's the worst thing they can do because that corner's sitting right out here. He's going to let this guy go inside. That's free release. You can't do that on the goal line. Yeah. So we're counting on them to make sound mistakes. And I say sound mistakes in terms of they're going to go back to their go-to coverage as well. If they do this, we're going to do that. Once we move the launch point in the pocket, they forget that they have to defend this guy. They're thinking, well, he's going to hand off to him or him. He's not a threat. So once he's out of the pocket, he's a threat. And teams forget about that.
Right. Right.
Well, Coach,
while you have that board out, I've got one more X and O question for you. Let's say the ball is at midfield.
Okay.
Ball's at midfield. You're on defense. Show me how you would line up and take me through your run fits and pass coverage against a 2-by-2 with both high motion guys coming from the inside on both sides of the formation.
Gotcha.
Your stationaries are both outside. Your high motions are on the inside. Ball's at midfield.
Gotcha. Well, the key component is obviously not to get beat deep. I'm a Nebraska guy through and through, so I'm going to be bend but don't break in the field. I mean, I'll give you from the 10s to the 10s, but I'm going to clamp down on you once you get underneath the 10-yard line. So basically here, I mean, there's a lot of things we can do. Most teams are shotgun, usually if they're going 2-by-2. So what we can do is we can do one of a few things. The main thing I like to do Can everybody see this right here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. It looks like a cover 4 or coverage across the top. Obviously, these motions are coming down, depending on what they're doing. What I instantly like to do is smash flat. I want to take these guys out. This is where the reads are right here. And so once you get these guys down, and even they can disturb these guys, we're basically banjoing the coverage right here. These guys are stationary, and then we're putting our best cover guys, which are usually your corners, with their motion receivers. So it looks like a 4 cross. We're probably about 7 to 8 yards deep. And we're going to play those mind games with the quarterback because he's looking through his safety box and saying, well, I'm ghost. I don't have anybody in my safety box. We can go downtown. But once we stop the motion here, guess what? Everybody's playing. Once the ball snaps, everybody's playing at about 2 or 3 yards.
So you're doing a converted cover 2 in a sense.
In the sense, I don't like to call it a cover 2 because when you say cover 2, that means these guys are hooked to flat and they're staying there. They're not. They're here and they're playing man coverage because this guy, if he's stationary, I'll take a guy I'll take that coverage because guess what? The quarterback's not looking at these outside. They're not looking at these outside guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the read right away. The read right away is here. But once we can stop the levels and we get everybody playing across the same plane, now they're in trouble. And if you decide to send the back, that's a quick throw and it's probably a pick somewhere because this is gone. And now you're confusing him with this because it's looking like just exactly what you said, a cover 2. It's not a 2. It's a man because if this guy goes vertical, he's going to run with him. Mm-hmm. And he's right there already. He's not the read. He's the bailout. And he's probably running a buddy route of some sort to clear out his other guy here because if he runs out here, he's probably going to do an in and out or you probably got some sort of smash concept on the other side. But once you get guys to certain levels and you bring the blitz, that's like one of the things I would do midfield.
Now, Coach, what would your check be there, or one of your possible checks, because I'm sure you'd have a couple, versus jet motion or loop motion into trips? How would that change that?
You probably would go to a 3, on this point in time. It depends on if they're a run-heavy team, because if they're not run-heavy or the quarterback's not mobile, I would almost stay in man, just basically because it's hard to read 3 receivers over here and 1, especially when you have the blitz coming.
I'm glad you said something there, Coach, because that's a key point. You said, what about the quarterback? If the quarterback's not mobile, it makes things a lot easier on you, right?
Exactly. If he's a mobile guy, you got to back out because he's going to kill you.
That's right.
Now, if you do motion in a 3-by-1 and on the back side, is that with those safeties, the safety that's coming down on the opposite side of the 3-by-1, is it gonna be a shift with the mic, or is it gonna be the safety's gonna go over with the trip?
I'm drawing it right now, but you leave the mic alone. You don't.
Okay.
If you got a mobile quarterback, the worst thing you want to do is start messing around with that mic. I mean, obviously, and I hate to say this, Ray, because I know you're a defensive guy, but that quarterback's probably a better athlete than that mic. And
sure.
So you start moving him around in terms of getting him out of position. Like I said, alignment, assignment, you're going to be in trouble. But what I probably would do is something like this, to where if you got this motion that's coming across, obviously we're going to play 3-over-3 here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to edge him on inside leverage here. We're going to back him out. He's probably going to be about 8 to 10 yards because he's not the key. If he wants to throw this, that's fine. We'll run to the football all day. But he's not going to throw this. He's going to look here because everyone's going to basically look like it's a fire drill. And they'll probably come through. You'll have some crossers. He's playing butt to the boards, back. You got a 3 on the front side. If you want to bring pressure here, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, like I said, that's probably the easiest convert with that. You don't need to get cute here. All you need to do is keep him in front.
Yeah, okay. Good answer. Coach, we have Pedro on the line, and Pedro's got questions from the fans, so I'm going to let Pedro take over.
Hello, Coach. Greetings here from Mexico City. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. So I'm speaking to you. I'm going to be the voice of the fans for you. There's a lot of things that the fans of the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles want to know about you. So what challenges do you think you're going to face with an expansion team, and how you're going to face them?
Well, I've been a part of 4 expansion teams, and they're all different. Anywhere from facilities to housing to food, even down to ownership. And the main thing with expansion teams is I keep going back to the same thing as buy-in. People have to be excited about the team. Players have to be excited about the team, and that starts with me. I'm very excited about the team. It's a great opportunity to start a new team. Everything we're doing is, we win the first game by however many points. It's the most points scored in Screaming Eagles history. So everything's brand new. But the hardest thing is buy-in, because you have to get buy-in from the community, buy-in from the businesses, buy-in from the arena that you're going to be around. The players, they have to buy into me to say, hey, this is the place to be. And I know there's some great organizations out there, but I'm where you need to be. And so if they're bought into me, and I'm excited about it, it's not very hard, and they have to build off of my energy.
One of the things you're going to have to be buying here are the fans. With the Screaming Eagles, it's everything going to be around the fans. So does this level of fan engagement scare you as a head coach?
No, not at all. When you coached indoor football, as long as I have, I've gotten grabbed by fans, and not in a bad way. I mean, where you're getting hugged. You've got people coming up to you on the field, and you have all different levels of fans with indoor football. I have my stat guys who say, your quarterback was only 19 to 25, and he had that one pick. And then you have the other fans to where they're just saying, just beat the heck out of the other team. That's all we want. So I embrace them all. The thing that they're going to be leaning on me for is the knowledge, the leadership, and that's the main thing, is that I'm going to get a lot of suggestions from a lot of fans, my coaches, even ownership. But at the end of the day, I have to be a decision maker. And I think that's what people probably buy into, is somebody who makes decisions. And I love the suggestions that people make. But at the end of the day, when they're looking at me for a direction, I have to set that direction from the suggestions that are given to me.
Okay, so guide us of your direction inside the locker room. What is something that you will absolutely not allow to happen in the locker room?
A lot of that is just, I don't like locker room lawyers. I don't like negativity. Once again, you go back to buy-in. I played with guys I didn't like, and I imagine Coach Leota and even Ray has probably played with guys they didn't like, but they respected them. And the main thing is respecting that locker room. You have 21 different guys, and they prepare 21 different ways. And people laugh at me when I say this, but I said a lot of my job as a coach is managing egos, and I have to manage every ego in that locker room, including my own. But the thing is the common goal. What's going to be the common goal? And like I said before, I played with guys I really didn't care for, but we had the common goal to go out there and beat the heck out of whoever was in an opposite jersey. And that's all that mattered to me at that time. And as long as people respect that, the fans buy into that as well, too. I mean, not every fan, even on our own team, will see things the same way. Well, we should have went for 2. That's why we're voting, correct? Teams go for, we want you to go for 2. No, we want you to kick the PAT. So they're not even agreeing. But they have to have, the common goal is to win. And as long as everyone's bought into that and they respect that, you don't have a problem. So it's about earning that respect. And I have to earn respect. Doesn't matter. And anybody who says if you haven't won the championship game, you've lost the last game you've coached. And so I have to earn respect. I don't care what my record is. I've been successful. I've had great offenses. I've produced people, but I have not won one game for Salt Lake. So I have to earn my respect just as everybody else does.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who are some of your role models you look up to?
First and foremost, I'd probably have to say my mom. She's probably the hardest working person I've known. She's worked 2 jobs ever since I can ever remember. And she just instilled the fact in me that there's no job too small. And regardless if I'm the President of the United States or I'm the guy vacuuming his office, I'm going to be the best that there is to do that. Coaching role models, I was really fortunate to be at Nebraska. Ron Brown, who coaches at Liberty now, Turner Gill, the late Denny Green, who I've met one time, one of my good coaching friends, Darren Arbett, who was at San Jose, Dan McCarney, who was at Iowa State, was really good to me as well too. Tom Osborne, Frank Solich, John Gregory, quite honestly, my coach with the Barnstormers, very influential on me in terms of just the offensive philosophy, believing in me. He was very complimentary to me and tells me I'm smarter than what I think and to trust my instincts more so than what I do. So Like I said, the top of the list would be my mom, but like I said, there's a lot of coaching influences, and it's just kind of shaped me to be the guy who I am today.
Okay, so imagine yourself, you're already there with the team, with fans, with everything. What do you do the night before a big game to calm down those nerves?
Like I said, it goes back to having 21 different guys, and now you got coaches involved, and everybody preps a different way. The main thing is you structure it, regardless of what it is you do. You structure it. I like to be together. That's always been a big thing with me, regardless if you're eating, if you're watching a movie, even if you're watching film, which I think is a cardinal sin before the night before. Regardless of what you do, you build structure. You have your curfew, you have your time that guys are in bed. But the main thing is you're relaxed. The hay's in the barn. All the prep is done. To browbeat what you're going to do, it's wasted energy, or as I call it, false hustle. Why do it? You don't need to. If you're prepared mentally and physically, save all that energy and take it out on somebody who doesn't have our same jersey on. And I have to be the calming force. It's like being in an airplane. If the airplane drops about 10,000 feet, everybody panics. I always look at the flight attendant. If they're not panicking, then I'm good. And it's the same thing with me. If I'm not panicking, no one else is going to.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach.
Gentlemen, do we have anything further?
Yes, Coach. I'm going to let you in with some sincerity to the fans because they're making the decision on this. So I'd like you to just give you a chance to talk to them and just explain the way you feel, how you feel about this opportunity to be the head coach of the Screaming Eagles.
I'm very excited. I mean, it's almost kind of like I wouldn't say a rebirth, but it's almost coming back. And I had someone tell me, you're up for the Salt Lake Eagles job, and they said, well, you haven't been a head coach for almost 10 years. And I told them, I said, so does that make me less dangerous or more dangerous? And I'm very excited for the opportunity. And as I always say, everybody wants to be number one, but nobody wants to be first. And I'm not afraid to be first. And it's a great concept. I like the ownership group so far. I like what the fans are doing in terms of being engaged. I just feel that bringing in somebody like me, you're bringing in a lot of experience, not only on the field, but off the field. It's going to be exciting on the field and off the field. We're going to have some great players. I just challenge anybody there to match my energy. And I say it like that, not to say that I'm a crazy madman, but I work and I grind and I love what I do in terms of indoor football. I love the players. I mean, I own an event that's 14, 15 hours from where I live. That's just pure football because I enjoy the game. And I just feel I can come in there and not only build you a winner and build you a team that you're proud of, but also be a mainstay in that community to where we're talking about how this started 5, 10 years ago. So, I mean, I'm really excited, and I definitely hope the opportunity is mine to have.
What is the business that you were talking about?
The College Gridiron Showcase. Basically, about 3 years ago, I worked a small college bowl game, and I wasn't happy with the results in terms of how they did things, and I was challenged that if I didn't like how things were run, I should do it myself, and that's what we did. And basically what we've done with my event is we've all seen the Senior Bowl to where they get on Sunday and they play the game on Saturday, and we don't do that. We've lopped off the back half of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It doesn't exist in my event. And we go from Sunday to Wednesday, and we take the top 110 seniors that we get because we focus on the third day of the draft, 4th through 7th rounders. Percentage-wise, they last the longest in the NFL, so that's where our focus was. And so we get 110 of those guys from anywhere from FBS schools all the way down to NAIA schools. And most of those guys have dropped low NFL grades. Then we have another group of 110 guys that are kind of maybe not heard of. They may still be at big schools. Case in point, in our second group, we had a couple guys out of Stanford that didn't see the field because they had some great starters in front of them. So it's an opportunity for them to get looked at. Then we have a third group of just specialists, punters, kickers, long snappers, returners. That usually I think there were 3 kickers drafted, or 3 special teams, a long snapper, a punter, and a kicker that were drafted in the NFL. So those guys get extra exposure. And then we do a fourth group, which is all free agents, guys who are 2 years out. That's our minimum, that maybe were in the Senior Bowl or were in our event or were in NFL camp, CFL camp, that still have still have it in their blood and still probably have some ball games still left in them. So by and large, we are the largest postseason bowl game in the country with 350 to 400 athletes. So this is a business that I've created with my partner, Craig Red, who's out in New Jersey. And it was kind of a labor of love, and now it's kind of spawned into something that is a lot bigger than what we could have ever imagined. And we're pretty fortunate to where we've been endorsed by the NFL. All 32 teams have shown up. We've had over 80 NFL scouts at our event last year, about 3/4 of the CFL teams, and a good chunk of the indoor teams that come. So I really enjoy it. Basically, I tell the guys, nobody shows up there to see me. And basically facilitate meetings. Scouts meet players, agents meet players, agents meet scouts, and we just put on the stage. But for 3 days, they practice, they interview, and we are the only event that has scheduled interviews with the NFL. We had 16 hours of scheduled interviews with NFL teams. And then on that Wednesday, the last day, we have 2 structured spring game type scrimmages. And it is structured, and a lot of scouts rave about it because a lot of scouts don't stay for those games anyway, Senior Bowl, NFLPA, or the East-West Shrine. So we put it in a scrimmage structure so they can actually see what they want to see. Perfect example, the scouts from the Rams said they did not want to see a quarterback in shotgun. They want to see all their linemen in three-point stance. So we put that into our scrimmage, and we put that into our drills. So it's a labor of love. It's a great event. That's where my database comes from. In fact, when the MLFB was going to come out of those 600 players that they drafted, about half of them were guys from my event. So basically, as I said before, getting players and guys that want to come play for me because we've helped them in the past isn't an issue. And my wife asks me all the time why I do it. I do it because I get emotions, and that's something that you can't substitute. One of our guys is Matt Darr, who's a starting punter for the Miami Dolphins, and it just does me great. I got goosebumps now talking about him because he's, a guy that was undrafted, came to our event, and next thing you know, he's starting for the Dolphins, and that's amazing.
Thanks, Coach. Well, on behalf of our entire team at Project Franchise and the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles, we want to thank you for being a part of this process. For fans out there that want to go ahead and vote for Coach Jefferson, you'll be able to do that beginning tomorrow at saltlakescreamingeagles.com. You can also review Coach's entire background and his previous interview that was videoed and recorded and available on that website. And again, great job today, Coach. We thank you for being a part of it, and we wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.